What do the Golden State Warriors need from the 14th roster spot?
GSW Daily explains. They've got options. Recently, news broke that the Golden State Warriors were holding workouts for a group of veteran players: Juan Toscano-Anderson, Dion Waiters, Giles, Trey Burke, Kent Bazemore, and Tony Snell. The reason why they're holding workouts is obvious. They only have 13 of their 15 roster spots filled. And while I expect the Golden State Warriors to enter the season with one open roster spot, they definitely won't be opening it with two. Which means they need to sign a 14th player. But what kind of player do they want? Well, the answer is obvious: the best of the NBA, a Nikola Jokić, Giannis Antetokounmpo, or Stephen Curry type. Can those players be bought out, please? Or, in Steph's case, cloned? That dream scenario is, of course, not even remotely realistic, so the Golden State Warriors will have to settle for something a bit more humble. Which perhaps makes the question, what do they want? Even more meaningful. Given the point in the offseason and the financial limitations of the team, the Dubs can't target a known difference maker. That's not to say their 14th player won't be a difference maker, but they can't expect it, at least on the court. So here are a few things they can target. A locker room asset. The Golden State Warriors' options aren't limited to the 6 players listed in that workout report, but if they were, Toscano-Anderson is the obvious fit for this box. He's a known quantity as a locker room guy. Steve Kerr loves him, not like he's in love with Stephen Curry. The veterans and stars love him, and the young players love him. He has championship acumen, a team-first attitude, and has proven to maintain a good attitude even when playing sparingly. There are obviously other players who can fit this mold too. Bazemore is close friends with Stephen Curry, and there's Andre Iguodala if they want to go all in on the all-locker room, no-court concept. After the chemistry issues of last year, the Golden State Warriors, led by Stephen Curry, will surely take locker room fit into consideration with every move. Maybe it's not the biggest factor, but it will be one of them. The desperation spark plug. Steve Kerr's playing career ended with a bang. In his 15th and final NBA season, he was a seldom-used bench player with Greg Popovich's San Antonio Spurs. He was part of the rotation early on, but ended the year firmly planted to the back of the bench. Through the first 17 games of San Antonio's playoff run, he received 12 DNPs. The other 5 games he was relegated to a few minutes of mop-up duty. The 18th game of those playoffs was Game 7 of the NBA Western Conference Finals against the Dallas Mavericks. As was his custom, Kerr was glued to the bench for the first half, and the Spurs entered the break trailing by 6 points. The third quarter went even worse, with the Spurs getting outscored by 7, putting them down 13 points on the road in Game 7. Towards the end of the quarter, Popovich unexpectedly turned to Kerr. He made the only 3 he attempted in the quarter. Then Popovich played him for almost the entire fourth quarter, a quarter that the Spurs won by 25 points to miraculously keep their season alive. Kerr finished a perfect 4 for 4 on threes in the game and, 6 games later, hoisted his 5th and final NBA trophy as a player. It's hardly a secret that Kerr has looked for someone to reprise that role on the Golden State Warriors. He has a penchant for turning to a surprising bench player when the team is struggling, a habit that is at times beautiful and at times maddening. The Golden State Warriors could use the 14th spot on a break glass in case of emergency spark plug. Snell is a fairly one-dimensional player, but he has shot 39.4% on threes for his career. Waiters is a decent shooter who once shot 39.5% from deep on high volume for a full season. Terrence Ross remains unsigned. Lou Williams didn't play last year, but could potentially be coaxed out of retirement with dreams of a ring. Gilbert Arenas, anyone? Okay, that one was a joke. Emergency depth. The Golden State Warriors feel good about their depth at all positions. They have lots of wings and a veteran point guard backing up their 2 Hall of Fame point guards. Critics will point to the lack of true centers, but Kevin Looney is an Iron Man, Draymond Green can move over from the 4 to be one of the best 5s in the world, Dario Saric is a solid 6 feet 10 inches, and Tracy Jackson-Davis projects as pretty NBA ready, for a rookie, which is an important disclaimer, provided he's limited in his role. There is nothing to describe about Stephen Curry, but it never hurts to have another body to throw out there just in case. Heck, JTA had plenty of games when he was on the Golden State Warriors where his role was basically to sit on the bench until they needed someone to come in for a rebound or a foul. You never know when you need to play hack-a-shack, when your bigs might get into foul trouble, or, worse yet, there's an injury or two. To the delight of Stephen Curry, the Golden State Warriors could fill this role with a system-centered big like Toscano-Anderson or Giles, or look towards a more traditional, plotting center, like Saric and Chris Paul's teammate last year, Bismack Biyombo. Reclamation Project. There's always the riskier but more exciting option, a player who they think could, by the end of the NBA season, be a solid contributor. Of the reported group, Giles definitely fits the bill the most. He's still only 25, was a first-round draft pick, and is a fluid 6 feet 11 inches player with quality passing chops and instincts. He's also been plagued by injuries in his career and has never actually been good, but in summation, hopefully Kevin Durant gets bought out. Let's run it back. Come play again with our MVP, Stephen Curry. This 2023-24 season, the NBA will boil. If you're a die-hard Golden State Warriors fan like me, there's always something to talk about when it comes to this team. Be sure to visit the community page of our channel, GSW Daily, where you'll find various quizzes and polls about the Golden State Warriors to test your knowledge. Also, check out our other videos on different aspects of the team.